It's been a busy 3 months for Ms. Nebraska 2023 Morgan Baird, who has already put more than 10,000 miles on the cars she gets to use during her reign. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, 21-year-old Morgan Baird met with the Scottsbluff Noon Kiwanis Club last week, detailing the many local competitions and county fairs where she's made appearances as Miss Nebraska, saying she has a goal of stopping in as many small Nebraska towns as possible. Another focus has been her community service initiative to rock the vote and build political power of the young. Baird says not every young person she talks to about the importance of voting shares her passion for civic engagement.
The conversation often shifts to how does the choices I make now at 18 years old voting, how does it affect me? And so I often bring up my time in the legislature and how I was able to see firsthand how voting affects people every day, because it's on a much smaller level.
She says ultimately her goal is to help young adults understand the impact they can have if they become more engaged in local civics.
If we just say, hey, come to the city council and listen to other people talk, that's not really going to do anything. Come to city council and this is how you can be involved in the conversation, and this is how those conversations are going to affect you. That's going to be a big important factor, I think.
The Ms. America contest is in January, which still looms at large, a date that she says her mother keeps reminding her is fast approaching, and with that will come certain level of expenses. An October 6th fundraiser at Hotel 21 in Gering has been organized to help her pay for costs associated with the trip. Well, a Sunday afternoon assault investigation leads to the arrest of a Scottsbluff man. Officers were dispatched to 7th Avenue, and a woman said that Eric Nava Suarez had grabbed her by the throat and choked her, as well as knocked her out. Police learned that he also had an August warrant for his arrest from Pennington County, South Dakota, for a drug distribution charge. Bond was set at $50,000 with a September 26th preliminary hearing date set for the local charges of strangulation and assault, and a November 7th extradition hearing for the South Dakota case. And a preliminary hearing date has been set as a Florida man who allegedly stole more than $10,000 from a 76-year-old Kimball resident. In July, Kimball police arrested 63-year-old Abraham Espinoza, who is facing 2 counts of conspiracy, 2 counts of theft by deception, and 2 counts of financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. Authorities say that after an extensive investigation, it was discovered that Espinoza had stolen more than $10,000 by using false information. Last Wednesday, a hearing was held and resulted in the scheduling of an October 13th preliminary hearing date in Kimball County Court, which will include an interpreter. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Life is crazy. Pain is stressful. How can anybody concentrate with these busy schedules? Now you can. This is Ben Moravec coming to you from Hydrozen, a float therapy business right here in Scottsbluff. I'm here today to let you know we now have memberships for $49 monthly. You can guarantee yourself at least 1 float per month. You know how floating keeps your muscles relaxed, your joints relieved, and your brain clear to think? Now you can float at a reduced rate each month. Inquire today at hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT. Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge.
Welcome back. Nebraska U.S. Senator Pete Ricketts says the impeachment inquiry launched by House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy is a logical next step given the lack of cooperation with various House oversight committees. During a conference call with reporters, Ricketts was asked if the inquiry was a proper use of taxpayer funding.
President Biden has not been forthcoming with regard to a lot of information just on regular course of business things. And frankly, he's brought this on himself by refusing to cooperate with the House Republicans. We need to have answers to what is going on here with regard to the business dealings of Hunter Biden and how that potentially involved him as the vice president, and by stonewalling us getting information.
Ricketts says it's a continued pattern by the president and his administration of failure to provide timely, if any, information on a variety of government activities. He said that's true of the recent hostage swap deal with Iran, as well as the announcement of the renewable fuel standards earlier this year, in which the EPA gave a private briefing to Democrats only, well before the public release of the standards and the end of the financial trading day. Well, Secretary of State Bob Evnen is encouraging Nebraskans to register to vote today, which is National Voter Registration Day. Evnen says every vote matters and every registered voter in Nebraska matters. There are several ways that people can register to vote or check their voter registration, including online at the Secretary of State's website or in person by visiting your county election office and filling out a paper form. To be an eligible voter in Nebraska, a person must be a U.S. citizen aged 18 or older, be a Nebraska resident, and it's been at least 2 years since there's been a felony conviction on your record. As of September 1st, there are 1.2 million registered voters in Nebraska, which represent the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, the Libertarian Party, or the Legal Marijuana Now Party, as well as nonpartisan voters with no party affiliation.
Tri-City Stormwater presents Stormwater 101, an illicit discharge.
Better sleep and better health can be found at Western Sleep Medicine in Gering. Since 2006, Western Sleep Medicine has offered the lowest cost sleep testing either in their independent sleep laboratory or the privacy of your own home. You have control over your health care and your out-of-pocket cost. All insurance is accepted for a much lower cost than the regional option. If you need a sleep study, ask for Western Sleep Medicine. They've helped thousands of people over the years and want to help you. Western Sleep Medicine. Better sleep, better health.
This is KNEB.TV weather from the KNEB Storm Center, your trusted source for weather.
We're going to be dealing with partly cloudy to mostly clear skies across the region here as we go through the evening hours. Another dandy night, beautiful day tomorrow. Could see just an isolated shower or storm. That's about it. Otherwise, warm temps continue. We will be cooler Friday through the weekend. Overall, though, nice early fall weather coming next week as well. 87 for our high yesterday after a morning low of 46. Nothing in the rain gauge yesterday. We're right at 2 inches for the month. And 2070 for the year as we've about overflowed that rain gauge. 87 is where we were yesterday, and the 80s again today. And we'll be right there again tomorrow. And nothing coming out there in terms of precip the last handful of days. And precip chances are going to be around. They're just going to be small. Isolated activity possible Wednesday through Saturday each and every day, thanks to some of that moisture around the region. Now, we will see some winds in here on Saturday. Things are going to turn a bit breezy Friday night into Saturday. Otherwise, things look pretty decent in the wind department even. 51 on your way to school tomorrow. We'll give it an A, and an A on the way home at 83 degrees. Just a few clouds out there. Temperatures are gorgeous right now in the 70s and 80s, mainly 80s across Nebraska, 70s in eastern Wyoming, and that's pretty true here, close to the area, 79 in Kimball, 81 in Torrington. Otherwise, look at those mid and upper 80s, 87 in Valentine right now. Winds are fairly light, under 15 miles an hour, just a couple of gusts up to around 20, and you can see a couple of showers dotting the map. Otherwise, that's about it. They'll move out as we go through the evening hours, clearing skies overnight, and we'll start the day tomorrow sunny again. Bring in a couple of late-day isolated hit-or-miss showers or storms tomorrow afternoon and evening across the area. Those move out again into Thursday, and we rinse and repeat again for Thursday, although things are going to start to cool down by late Thursday. maybe bring in a better chance of some showers and storms to the region Thursday night. Across the area tonight, lows in the 40s to low 50s. Highs tomorrow back into the 80s again. Gorgeous weather out there continues. Precip we'll see a little bit with the next couple of systems coming through. Could be some heavy rain under some of the heavier showers. 50 overnight with some clouds, light and variable winds, another dandy. Tomorrow, 84, partly cloudy. We do have a 20% chance of some showers and storms around starting tomorrow through Saturday, the official first day of fall. Otherwise, quiet weather conditions and temps warm back up into the 80s for next week.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
As producers do get ready to head out into those fields for harvest, one of the challenges that faces many of them is a shortage of labor. More specifically, the question is, how do you go about finding and securing reliable workers to fill seasonal or year-round needs? With that in mind, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Center for Agricultural Profitability recently hosted a webinar workshop on seasonal labor and immigration for livestock and crop producers. This webinar is designed to help producers and ag industry professionals understand all the options out there and how they can be used and how to navigate the challenges of different agricultural visa programs.
Yeah, so there's really a couple programs that producers who are farmers and ranchers would really be eligible for. The first one is H-2A program. That's a seasonal worker program. That's where we bring someone in from outside the U.S. and generally here for about 10 months. They're here and then they go back to the country and then they can come back again. We have to pay them a competitive wage, and there's been some recent changes to this program, which is why we're kind of highlighting it, that really put some policy pressure on Washington as far as the wage they receive and the type of work they can do. So that's a program that's been out there for a long time. It tends to be more popular in vegetable and fruit production, but is becoming at least more of a feasible option for row crop producers. And then we have another program called the TN visa, which is mainly for veterinarians and people who are in kind of breeding stock. And this is maybe a program that people haven't been aware of, and kind of highlighting that for people who might be in hog operations or in cattle operations where there's a high veterinary use. And so we kind of have a unique program. We're going to bring 3 different people who have all along the immigration kind of spectrum, and they each offer a different perspective and hope to provide some real insights for producers.
This webinar will give producers some insights into the USDA Economic Service, university educators, and most importantly, different producers who've had experience dealing with these situations and federal programs.
Yeah, so we're going to start with someone from the Economic Research Service. They're just going to talk about, this isn't a Nebraska issue, this isn't a Missouri issue, this isn't just a Kansas issue, this is a U.S. ag immigrant issue when we're talking about labor. And we'll have a lawyer who actually has a lot of experience working with farm and ranch operations and trying to get labor over here. He's an immigration lawyer based out of Lincoln, and he's going to talk about what's that process look like from his side. What paperwork do you need to have? How do you go about applying for and finding individuals? And then we're going to have a few producers who have expressed interest in sharing their views and their experience with the H-2A program. So pretty unique kind of setup. When we start from broad overview to someone who actually will help you apply for the program to someone who's actually been in a program, and they can kind of tell you the ins and outs and details, what worked, what hasn't worked. And so really just provides a broad overview, and hopefully is a launching pad to other opportunities where we can just at least have a discussion about this and provide information for producers who are interested in the program, who may have heard about it, but maybe haven't tried it, because it's, with a lot of these federal programs, they're pretty complicated. You need someone who's done it before, and if we have producers who are willing to share their experiences, the more the better.
Now, if you're dealing with some labor challenges and are considering one of these programs, we've shared a direct link, to this webinar, along with a story. You can find that over on the Market Journal website.
Benzel Pest Control has been the Wyoming and Nebraska area's most committed professional pest control company. We have 4 generations and nearly 50 years of experience serving Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as certified entomologists on staff. So whether you're dealing with spiders, wasps, rodents, or any other unwanted visitors, give Benzel Pest Control a call today for an estimate at 888-229-2128 or visit our website at benzelpestcontrol.com.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
At Renewal by Andersen, they make the best windows and patio doors you can get. But they've also set the gold standard for service. At Renewal by Andersen, their signature service is second to none.
It's old school quality. It's this type of service doesn't exist outside of Renewal.
Renewal by Anderson's signature service, trust, respect, care. Renewal by Anderson. You'll be delighted like so many others are. Visit rbawyoming.com now to book your free estimate.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, a Chadron State College associate professor has started a bike sharing program for campus. Dr. Britt Helmbrecht initiated this through a $10,000 grant she received from Healthy Blue, an arm of Blue Cross Blue Shield's insurance company. She said Chadron Bike Share will eventually expand to support the community, but the pilot project will start on campus and serve the transportation and wellness needs of CSE students. She says the concept is simple. If you find a bike parked in a campus bike rack with the Chadron Bike Share sticker and a bike license plate, use it to ride to your next destination and return the bike to a designated bike rack on campus when you're done with it. Until designated bike racks are placed on campus, the first 8 bikes will be placed across campus. More bikes will be added based on evaluations at the end of the first year. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.